Welcome to Wanderlust and Wishes, the podcast where we explore the world one destination at a time.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Krystle.
As travel agents with fantastical vacations, we are here to share our passion for travel and help you turn your wanderlust into reality.
From hidden gems to bucket list adventures, join us as we dive into the sights, sounds, and stories of our favorite destinations.
So grab your passport, pack your bags, and let's embark on this journey together. Welcome to episode 38 of Wanderlust and Wishes. Today, we're going to continue our coverage of quick service restaurants at the parks. We're going to cover Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World. But first, we have a couple of news nuggets to review.
First up, Disney has announced a closing date for It's Tough to Be a Bug at Animal Kingdom, and the last day, it says closing March 17th, but we're speculating that the 16th might be the last day of shows.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm sorry, but I will not be missing this show.
I don't think I've never seen
terrifying.
The Disney World version. I saw it at Disneyland as a kid.
It's terrifying.
I think I took John on our honeymoon, but that was probably the last time I've seen it because it's just not with kids. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I warn every parent that goes, every family that goes, and especially if they have younger kids, this looks like it's cute, but when you get in there and spiders drop from the ceiling, it's terrifying, and there's lots of little children screaming if the parents have brought their kids in there. Next is that Disney Cruise Line has released itineraries for summer 2026. So if you are looking to go on a Disney cruise, they have summer itineraries open now, which is really exciting. A lot of us have been waiting on that because people are already planning for next year.
This is the cheapest you'll ever see a summer 2026 cruise.
Yeah.
So do it now. And as a reminder, we offer onboard credit to all our Disney cruisers as a thank you for booking with us. So
up to $1,000.
Beginning March 17th, you won't need a reservation to build a droid at Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. Just walk in, walk up, choose your buddy or your body, R2 or BB, and get started. Reservations will still be required at Disney World. This does not surprise me. Do you remember when I went to Disneyland and my husband made a bet with my son? If he scored a bunch of goals, he would buy him a droid. We had multiple day of options each day we were there. So I was not surprised.
They're not filling up like they do at Disney World.
No.
Next is also on March 17th, Indiana Jones Adventure in Disneyland is closing for refurbishment. Right at this point, there's no reopening date that's been announced.
Disney has changed the approval timeline for the Disability Access Service. This is DAS for short. Guests will now be able to conduct their interview and find out whether they qualify beginning 60 days in advance of their first park day instead of 30 days. This is a little bit different. It's your park day, not your check-in day, like most things. This is a big win for guests who would cancel if they wouldn't receive DAS. So puts it far enough in advance before final payment, which is good.
Yes. Oh, I just had someone that applied and they thankfully were approved. It's a big difference for them and how their trip will go if they did not get approved. They weren't necessarily going to cancel, but it definitely would have made a big difference in their park days and just the flow of everything. So I'm really happy for them that they were able to get it.
All right, let's talk about some food. We're doing this similar to our If You Could Only Choose One episodes. And there's just not a lot in Hollywood Studios. So it's going to be quick nugget information today, but hopefully you find some good things to add to your list for your next trip. So let's start in Toy Story Land. I'm going to Woody's Lunchbox. I love the breakfast tacos here. We've talked about that before. They also have a grilled cheese and tomato soup for lunch and dinner. And the barbecue brisket melt looks good too, but we're usually only over here in the morning. In saying that, breakfast ends so early. Always put a mobile order in. Like, I do it while we're on the Skyliner. If you're coming on the Skyliner, if you're coming on the bus, do it before you get to the park. It'll just make things go so much smoother.
Or you won't get an opportunity if you wait.
You'll miss out on breakfast. And treat, I'm going to get the seasonal tart. Right now, it's a chocolate-covered strawberry lunchbox tart, and it's basically just a big Pop-Tart.
It looks so delicious. So Woody's lunchbox is the only quick service option in Toy Story Land. So Krystle and I are both choosing Woody's lunchbox for that reason. For breakfast, I would get a modified breakfast bowl, or basically the breakfast tachos, to make them gluten-free. And for lunch, I'm going to get the barbecue brisket melt. They also have the option to get gluten-free modified lunch tachos if you get the vegan chili instead of the regular. So I would probably choose between those. I think the brisket melt is a lot, and I actually will probably say that with a couple of different things, but no one wants to share my gluten-free bread. So usually I end up eating like half of it and unfortunately having to throw it away because no one else wants to share with me. But I feel like the brisket melt is probably like bigger and heavier, even though the tachos are too. But I think depending on like how hungry I am, I would go with the tachos over the brisket melt just because the brisket melt's a lot.
All right, let's march with the little green army men over to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I always go to Ronto Roasters here. They have a breakfast and lunch option of the Ronto Wrap. The Ronto Wrap is, the breakfast one is eggs, grilled pork sausage, shredded cheese, peppercorn sauce, and a pita bread. And the lunch one is roasted pork, grilled pork sausage, peppercorn sauce, and tangy slaw wrapped in pita bread. I don't feel like they're like too huge. Like you could almost use them as a snack lunch option. So that's where we go. For a snack at the milk stand, taking a surprise twist here. They have a polystarch puff bread that looks good. It's like a croissant topped with probably like glaze.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's the blue or green milk, but they probably just color it. Served with yuzu passion fruit coconut dipping sauce. That sounded good.
So for main like quick service restaurants, Galaxy's Edge has two options, which is Ronto Roasters, like Krystle mentioned, and Docking Bay 7. There is an option for a gluten-free Ronto wrap, but I still have like pretty sensitive stomach, and so there's a lot of pork, as Krystle mentioned, and so I still kind of steer clear of the Ronto wrap. So I'm going to go to Docking Bay 7 because they have Andorian fried chicken yip yip, and it's just gluten-free crispy chicken with white rice and roasted vegetables, and it's so good. It's very simple, not super heavy, and it's definitely shareable. And the gluten-free crispy like coating is not like super obvious, and so usually I might share one of my pieces of chicken with someone else. If I'm going to do a snack, you guys know me probably well enough at this point. If I'm going to do a snack, it's going to be coffee, and I'm going to go to Katsaka's Kettle and get what's it called? The cold brew black calf without the little chocolate puffs on it.
Told Julie we need to do a whole coffee episode. Our next area is like Echo Lake, Commissary Lane, Grand Avenue. I will always preach this from the rooftops. I believe the ABC Commissary is underrated, and it's kind of a sleeper option. But they have a buffalo chicken grilled cheese that I love there. It has some like, you can get like a tossed green side thing with it. I also like the shrimp tacos. Lots of indoor seating. They have a good Coke refill machine with pebble ice. Good bathrooms. So it's a good option. For a treat, I'm going to go to Backlot Express for the Wookiee cookie, which is basically an oatmeal cream pie.
But it's on steroids. It's huge.
Yeah, it's head size.
It's very big. So I also agree like that ABC Commissary is probably it's not talked about enough. It's kind of hidden. I feel like a little bit like Commissary Lane is a little dark and shaded. And if you don't know it's back there, you might miss it. It's also like it's mostly all indoor seating. It has some outdoor seating, but it's mostly indoors, and it's really nice and air conditioned in the summer where you are ready to get out of the sun.
If you are right there by Backlot Express and see that Gertie's ice cream stand is open, go there and get some ice cream. It's not on the map, They have good options, but it has weird hours. So if it's open, stop there.
Yeah, you're not going to really see it on I don't think I've ever seen it on the app to like actually show up that it's a spot. You just kind of have to know it's there and happen to walk by when the little window is open. So moving into what I would choose, although I do think ABC Commissary is a hidden gem from a kind of what I have, options I have to eat perspective, I'm going to go to Backlot Express. I would say that the negative of it is that it doesn't have a ton of indoor seating. A lot of its seating is outdoors, and when it's hot or it's raining or whatever, that can be a negative. But it's located right next to Star Tours. They have this really good burger that's smoked barbecue, pulled pork burger, and it has just a little bit of like barbecue pulled pork with the burger. And yes, it is a lot. And again, like I was mentioning before, I'm probably going to eat like half of it. And I might be able to talk someone into sharing at least like the burger part of it and not the bread. They also have a gluten-free brownie on their menu that I like to order. And I would rather eat that than actually eat real food. But, I at least try to eat something. I'll eat the burger first.
It's Disney. Calories don't count. Walk them off. For our next area is like the Hollywood Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard, Animation Courtyard areas. For my food, I'm going to go to Fairfax Fair. This is at the end of the street, right there by the Hollywood Tower of Terror. They have like this whole bowl situation going on. They have barbecue beef brisket bowl, a Korean barbecue pork belly bowl, and a buffalo chicken bowl that they all sound great. They're made in a waffle bowl and they have all sorts of toppings. So I would go there. My snack right next door to that is Hollywood Scoops, and they have all sorts of ice cream there to cool off. And it's like a fun little place to sit and like enjoy the people watching atmosphere.
So for my pick, for food, I'm going to pick Rosie's All American Cafe. There's not a whole lot of great gluten-free options, like just in this area in general. Like the Catalina Eddie's has pizza, I'm just really picky about pizza. And so even though they have the gluten-free option, I'm just not doing it. Especially if it's hot, it just makes it worse for me. And then I think Fairfax Fair looks absolutely delicious, but I think I would have to do a lot of modifications to be able to eat something there. It's just easier for me especially if we're hungry and we're just trying to sit down and get something really quickly. I'm going to go to Rosie's All American Cafe. They have a kids gluten-free chicken strips, so I'm going to get that as my option. There's also in this area, there's the Joffrey's that's behind Tower of Terror. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a secret, but people don't realize it's back there as much because it's back behind Tower of Terror, and you have to go. If you actually go on Tower of Terror and you come out the exit, it's right there. But if you're not going on that ride, you have to kind of go out of your way to find it. You have to go, like when you're like facing the entrance of Tower of Terror, you have to go up to the right where you typically come out. And they also have the Starbucks that's on the corner. I never remember what it's actually called, but it's on the corner of Hollywood and Sunset. And it's always just so freaking packed that unless it's just a really major downtime or you just get lucky, I don't go in there because I would rather just go to Joffrey's and get something. And one of the other things that we were kind of chatting about before the episode, and I meant to add it and I forgot, there's several different kind of kiosk areas. So if you're just looking for a snack, they have kiosks all over. There's one right next to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that has ice cream, a popcorn, and I think it might have pretzels as well. And then there's a popcorn place that's kind of over closer to where what is it called? The Star Wars launch bay in that area.
Right outside the Animation Courtyard entrance before you walk into it.
Yes, like where the little archway is. There is a Joffrey's that's if you're headed towards Toy Story Land, and it's almost like kind of catty corner across from Walt Disney Presents. There's a Joffrey's, and there's also kind of a like market side type place that has nachos and I think popcorn as well. And then of course the Joffrey's has Joffrey's coffee, but they also have those gigantic donuts that they get. That's definitely a spot that we always stop.
That market has the Jack Jack cookie num num too.
Right.
That people talk about.
Yeah, that people
Like
love.
a big chocolate chip cookie.
And then I think there's also another one that is on the corner. It's kind of across from the Starbucks, I believe, or in that same vicinity. It's popcorn and pretzels and just like random kind of snacky type food. If you're not looking for a meal, there's a little kiosk there as well. It's on the corner of Hollywood and Sunset. They definitely have lots of little places. Those are not necessarily going to be on the map. Even if you're using the app for whatever reason, they don't show those. You just kind of have to know that they're there, or you walk by them and see that they're there, which to me, that's a little frustrating. But I think some of it might be because they're not consistently open, or they don't have consistent menu items, that some of those things change around, and they'll have seasonal things, especially at the Joffrey's, or even seasonal popcorn buckets and things like that. So I think that's probably part of it. But I didn't want to forget about those, because they are a huge part of what at least my family snacks on is popcorn. And we pretty much know where all the popcorn stands are. And then, of course, I know where all the Joffreys are. I have them staked out.
Well, and then all the popcorn stands, they have the bottles of Diet Coke that we go through like crazy. So we're well versed as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. They don't really have that. I don't think they have a popcorn stand in Toy Story Land or Galaxy's Edge. I don't remember that they have one.
No.
So,
because they're supposed to be like more authentic lands.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So like that's why Joffrey's is right outside. And the Diet Coke bottles in Galaxy's Edge are the like droid looking things.
Yeah, right. And so if you're looking for like popcorn, you kind of need to be out in the Animation Courtyard, Hollywood, and Sunset areas.
They do have like the popcorn it's like the blue cat, the
Sokka's
blue
kettle. They do.
Yeah, but
That's
it's like
true.
the blue butter popcorn. It's not like your normal, and I don't think they treat refills the same there. So it's like different pricing.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think it's not like regular popcorn in general.
Like I said, it's short today, guys, but hopefully this gives you some ideas. You have some tried and true things for when people get hangry. You can pull one of these out of your back pocket, because we're not going to lead you astray.
We're definitely going to have a lot longer episodes when we hit Magic Kingdom and Epcot, because they have significantly more quick service options. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great week. We'll talk to you next week. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Wonderlust and Wishes.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform.
And remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored. Until next time, happy travels.
Bye for now.